Hey everybody, welcome back to AI Cave. I'm Scorpio Girl, and today we are building my very first gaming PC. In my last video, you saw me unboxing all of the amazing equipment that's going to go into my PC. First, thank you everyone that donated to help me get all the equipment that I need so that I can have my own PC and I can start gaming like a pro. Close to a pro, maybe a little bit closer to a pro. Maybe not pro, but a little bit better. Well, first a disclaimer. This is not a how-to build video. This is not an instruction on how to build a gaming PC. This is just me showing you how I built my very first gaming PC. The first thing we're gonna do is install my CPU into my motherboard. I'm gently taking the motherboard out of the box and placing it on top of it for the initial CPU and heatsink installation. The top of the box is a nice, non-conductive surface that is easy to build on prior to installing the components into the case. After taking the CPU out of the box, I gently push down the retention arm on the CPU socket to unhinge the protective plate and CPU cover. Once this is done, the motherboard pins are exposed, allowing me to align the CPU into the socket and drop it into place. Refastening the retention arm will secure the CPU and automatically remove the plastic safety cover. With the CPU properly slotted, we can now move on to the cooling solution. I am using a single all-in-one cooler. To mount this, I first need to align a bracket to the back side of the motherboard. This will secure the cooler to the motherboard. However, before I can mount the cooler, I must first apply thermal paste to the CPU. This compound allows for a better transfer of heat between the CPU heatsink and the heatsink on the cooler. After fastening the thumb screws in a cross pattern, the cooler is properly mounted and I can move on. Next, I insert my RAM into the DIMM slots on the motherboard. If you notice, there are 4 slots on the board, but I only have 2. This is okay as it allows for upgradability in the future should I need to. But because of this, I need to put these into slots 2 and 4, counting away from the CPU. These are color-coded appropriately, so it's hard to go wrong. Now I'm ready to populate my SSD into its M2 slot. This slot is covered up by a heatsink, so I need to unscrew that to get to it. Taking it off reveals a port, which is pushed to a 45-degree angle by a spring. After inserting the SSD, I am able to push gently to lower it to the proper position and apply the heatsink after removing the protective plastic. Now, all that's left is to resecure the screws. Well, now that I have installed my CPU, my liquid CPU cooling unit, my RAM, and my SSD, I am going to put it in my case. Removing the screws from the tempered glass panels allows me to take them off and gain access to the internals of the case. The top fan filter needs to be removed as well to allow for top mounting. Inside the case is a box filled with spare screws and any other small accessories I may need for any sort of installation. After placing the motherboard on the included standoffs, I am able to screw it in. These standoffs prevent the metal from making contact with the board. With that done, I need to mount the radiator and fan to the rear of the case. This is done with long screws that slide through the case, fan, and into the frame of the radiator, securing them all together as one. After that, it's just a matter of plugging in the fan cable into the CPU fan header on the motherboard. In my configuration, the fan is blowing air into the case, but this varies from system to system. Alright, now that my motherboard and its components are installed, I'm going to start on my power supply unit. All of the cables are clearly marked with where they're supposed to go. CPU, everything is clearly marked on here as well, so it's pretty much just a matching game. Now begins the fun of trying to maneuver my power supply unit right into my case along with all of these wires. Luckily, I have small hands, so I don't know if you can even see it. I can stick my hand through here. Be jealous, guys. Alright, and now comes the fun part of trying to put my power supply into my case with all these. Okay, now I have my power supply installed and we get to begin the adventure of plugging all the cords in where they're supposed to be. First is the main 24-pin power connector. Next, the 8-pin CPU connector. And lastly, the front I/O including USB, power, reset, and LED connectors. At last, we can finally get to installing the video card. To do this, we must first remove the back covers to allow the card's I/O to be accessible. Then it's simply a matter of inserting the card into the PCI Express 3.0 slot on the motherboard, screwing in the 2 rear support screws, and plugging in the 8 and 6-pin power connectors into the card. Alright guys, the moment of truth. Got my Windows 10 on my Darth Vader. Okay. It's on! I also installed pink LED fans for better airflow and because I love pink. For information about all the parts I used, you can find it in this video or in the description below. Thank you for watching and all the help and donations. Let me know in the comments below what you think about my new gaming PC. If you like this video, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to AI Cave channel, and click the bell to make sure you don't miss any new videos. Bye everybody!